always in the first case. Prishtam cha vastu, the vastu that is asked for, prathamayaya eva nirdeshtum yuktam. It is tenable to unfold it only as in the first case, as the subject. Sayas tvaya prishtaha. What is asked by you? Saha yaha tvaya prishtaha. What is it? Pranasya pranaha iti. Pranasya means the student has asked for the prana's prana. Pranam is known, but what is the prana of the prana? The chakshu of the chakshu, the shrotram of the shrotram, in this manner. Pranasya means pranakhya vritti viseshasya. Pranakhya vritti viseshasya means that which is the pancha pranas. Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, that entire process of breathing. All the 5 pranas are called pranakhya vritti viseshasya. Pranaha, the prana of the prana. When we say the prana of the pancha pranas, what is the prana of the pancha pranas? Means what is the truth of the pancha pranas? This question was raised by the student. Now the teacher is telling it has to be explained in the first case alone, not in any other case. Therefore, if it is put in the second case, try to put it in the first case and understand. Don't worry about the grammar. Not to samajh lijiye. Tat kritam hi pranasya pranana samarthyam. Tat kritam hi. It is due to that Atma. Tat kritam. Due to that subject matter which needs to be understood. Tat kritam means what? It is due to the presence of the Atma. Pranasya pranana samarthyam. The pranam has the samarthyam, prana has the capacity to function. The breath has the capacity to function only due to the presence of Atma. There will be no breath without consciousness involved in it. Without presupposing the conscious being, there is no breath at all. If there is no consciousness, then even this should be breathing. Even a table should breathe. If there is no need for the identity, if there is no need for the conscious being, if there is no need of any conscious being, even the table should be able to breathe. The table doesn't breathe. In fact, the table can't exist without it. Body can't breathe without Atma. Body can't even exist without Atma. Atma being the truth. Like the snake cannot breathe. In fact, the snake cannot even exist. You are saying the snake is breathing. Snake is alive. What kind of snake is it? It is alive snake. Therefore you are scared. You will not be scared of the dead snake. So you are scared of the snake because it is alive. So now I can say without the rope, snake cannot breathe. Snake can't breathe without the rope. Therefore what is rope? Pranasya pranaha. It is the breath of the breath. The rope is the breath of the snake's breathing. Pranasya pranaha. Not only snake cannot breathe without rope, snake cannot even exist without rope. No difference between that and this. And we say body can't breathe. Without Atma, body definitely can't breathe. Body can't even exist. Body's existence is adhyasa, body's breathing also is adhyasa. The world can't breathe, the world can't exist without Atma. Like even you see the wave breathes due to water. Wave exists also due to water. Minus water there is no wave. Pranasya pranana samarthyam. Nahi atmana anadhishtitasya. Anadhishtitasya. Not supported by Atma. Nahi Atma anadhishtitasya. What is not supported by Atma? Prananam upapadyate. The breath cannot function. Prananam means functioning. Breath cannot function unsupported by Atma. Nobody can breathe, nobody can function, nobody can breathe without the support of Atma. Without the support means what? Without the presence of Atma. Atma's presence is necessary for all the faculties to function. Because what we call faculties, they are all conscious faculties. They are not just physical events. Rain is not a conscious faculty. Rain is an event, is a physical phenomenon. But seeing is not a physical phenomenon, but it is a conscious phenomenon. Seeing the rain is a... Are you able to follow? Rain falling from the sky to the earth is not a conscious phenomenon, it's a physical phenomenon. But to see that phenomenon is a conscious phenomenon. That is called a faculty. Rain falling from the sky to the earth is not a faculty, it is an event, physical event. The knowledge of it is a faculty. So all faculties of man are all conscious faculties, not inert faculties. Seeing is knowing, hearing is knowing, tasting is knowing, touching is knowing, thinking is knowing, remembering is also knowing. Suffering is also knowing. There is knowing the suffering. Enjoying is knowing. Therefore the whole samsara is knowing, 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 knowing. It's all faculties. It's all knowledge. These kind of faculties cannot exist without Atma, which is conscious being. Nahi Atmanam anadishtitasya prananam upapadyate. And the Shruti also supports this point. Ko heva anyat. Who can breathe? Ko heva anyat. Who can live? Who can live? Anyat means who can live. Kaha pranyat. And who can breathe? An and pran dono ek hi baat, ek hi dhatu ka hai. Ko heva anyat kaha pranyat means who can live and who can breathe. Yadesha akasha anando nasya. If this akasha, if this anandaha, if this atma were not. Akasha and ananda both mean what? Atma. If this akasha, if this anandaha means atma were non-existent, if there were no atma, then who would be alive and who would breathe? There would be no existence. There would be no universe. Because universe is there only as known. If the knower is not there, there is no known also. Therefore, who would exist and who would breathe but for this Atma iti? Shruti itself says. That means what? Breathing is not possible, living is not possible without presupposing the presence of Atma. So therefore, who is the truth of breathing? Atma is the truth of breathing. Atma is the truth of living itself. The entire life's process is due to Atma. Urdhvam pranam unnayati apanam pratyagasyati. Says, another Shruti says, Urdhvam pranam unnayati. One breathes out. One breathes in. It is the Atma that makes the breath go in, air go in. Urdhva means up. Pranam pranako. Unnayati raises. It is the Atma's presence that enables the breath to go in. Up means when you breathe in fact it goes up. It is called, prag gamanavan vayuhu prana. Adho gamanavan vayuhu iti apana. When you breathe out, it is breathing down. Is it now? Out to theek hai, lekin breathe down. And breathe in means breathe up. Up and down. Because the nostril is as though vertical, therefore it is a breathe up and in and breathe down. So what goes down is called apanaha, what goes up is called pranaha. It is called prag gamanavan vayuhu is called pranaha, adho gamanavan vayuhu is called apanaha. Apanaha means what? Breathing out. It is called apanaha. Now here it says, urdhvam unnayati pranam. Atma's presence enables the breath to go up and enables the apana to go down. It simply means what? Breathing in and breathing out is made possible due to the presence of the self. Apanam pratyagasyati. Pratyak means adho ityartha. Asyati throws. Meaning Atma's presence makes the apana go out. Go down means go up, go out. You understand this difference? Why it is called prana, why it is called apana? Not able to follow? Breathe in means what? Breathe up and in. Breathe out means what? Breathe down. Breathe down. That is why it's called apana. Apana means breathe down. Ityadi Shrutibhyaha. So these Shrutis make it very clear that pranam functions only presupposing the presence of Atma iti. Ihapi cha vakshate. This very Upanishad is going to tell. Ihapi means in this very Upanishad itself. In Kenopanishad itself it will be told. What will be told? Yena prana praniyate. By whom the prana itself functions. Pranaha praniyate means what? Breathe in, breath is breathed in and out. A peculiar expression. The breath is breathed in and breathed out. The breath is breathed in and breathed out means what? One breathes in and breathes out. Yena, by whom? Because of which Atma? Pranaha praniyate, the breath is breathed in and breathed out. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, that itself is Brahma. Tvam vidhi, understand. Iti. So the Shruti is going to tell, breath is not Brahma, breath is not the truth, breath is not you, you are not breath. Atma is not breath. Atma is that because of which breath is possible. Atma is not Deha, but because of which Deha is possible. Atma is not the sight, but Atma is that because of which sight is possible. It is not the sight, but truth of sight. It is not body, but truth of body. Not breath, but truth of breath. Not the snake, but the truth of the snake. What is Rajju? Is it snake? No, snake is snake, Rajju. Their qualities are different. So what is rope? What is rope? Truth of snake is rope. Similarly, what is Atma? Truth of the entire snake. The entire Jiva is what? Jiva takes the position of Sarpa. As Jivatma, one is Sarpa. As Paramatma, one is Rajju. So how Rajju is taken as Sarpa, Paramatma is taken as Jivatma. Tvam vidhi iti. Shrotradi indriya prastave. Now a small objection is raised. Small objection is raised like this. Shrotradi indriya prastave. In the context of the sense organs. Purvapaksha says, in the context of the sense organs, indriya prastav mein, Shrotradi indriya prastave, in the context of the sense organs, Ghanasya eva grahanam yuktam natu pranasya. When we say pranam, it should be taken only as the nostrils, not the breath. We should not take the entire physiological system. We should take only the granam. Granam means, granam means the sense of smell. Not the whole physiological system, prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Here pranam, prana shabda should mean what? Granam. Because you are talking about what? Chakshuhu, Shrotram. What is Chakshu? Chakshu is what? It is a means of knowledge of the form. Shrotram is means of knowledge of the sound. Is it not clear? When you are mentioning prana along with the chakshu and shrotram, when you are mentioning prana along with the chakshu and shrotram being the means of knowledge, prana also should be interpreted as a means of knowledge. Prana as a means of knowledge is what is called a sense of smell. Ghanam means what? As a sense of smell. Not able to follow. One is the process of breathing in and breathing out, that is called physiological system. The other is what is called sense of smell. Why not we take the prana here as the sense of smell? Why should we take in here as breathing in, breathing out and all the 5 pranas? Iti Purvapaksha. Yuktam natu pranasyati. So Purvapakshi says, why can't we take prana to mean the sense of smell rather than the whole physiological system called prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana iti. For that here it says, satyam evam, what you say is true. But then there is something more true than what you say. What you say is true, that along with the chakshu and shrotram, prana should mean sense of smell. Why should it mean sense of smell? Because chakshu is a means of knowledge, shrotram is a means of knowledge. Along with them you read the prana, therefore pranam also should be a means of knowledge. Pranam as a means of knowledge is what? Pranam as a means of knowledge is a sense of smell. That is called pranam, means ghanam. Satyam evam pranagrahanenaiva. Here he is telling pranagrahanenaiva, by looking at it as a pranam. Once we say it is a pranam, it includes sense of smell also. Pranagrahanenaiva, by taking it as pranam means breath. Granasya grahanam kritameva. Granam is implied. Pranam includes granam. Pranam means breathing in and breathing out. Granam means the sense of smell. There are two faculties. One is the faculty of breathing in and breathing out. A person who doesn't smell also breathes in and breathes out, please. There are many people who don't know smell. You ask him what is the smell, he doesn't know. That is why fire takes place. Sometimes when the gas, when the gas goes, supposing there is some leakage, then the person who is cooking wouldn't know. He doesn't smell. Just as some people have no sight, sense of smell also sometimes is not there. Sense organ is not there. Now supposing somebody like that, what will he do? He will be only seeing the fire. When the fire takes place, then he will see the fire, but he can't smell. So a person can breathe in and breathe out without having the sense of smell. But sense of smell is not possible without breathing. So what includes what? Prana includes ghanam or ghanam includes pranam? The moment you say pranam, it also includes, within the prana is the sense of smell. It is not independent of prana. It's not independent of prana. In breathing itself is the sense of smell also. Therefore, when we interpret the word prana, it also includes ghanam iti. Ghanam kritameva. Manyate Shruti, aisa Shruti hi manta hai. Shruti itself means that pranam includes ghanam. We don't have to interpret the word prana to mean ghanam. Pranam means ghanam also. Clear? Sarvasya eva karana kalapasya. All faculties. Sarvasya eva means all. Karana kalapasya means karana samuhasya. Karana samuhasya means what? The entire realm of sense organs. Chakshuhu, Shrotram, Granam, Tvak, Vak. All these things. Karana kalapasya yadartha prayukta pravrutti. They have pravrutti for whose sake? Yadartha prayukta pravrutti. All of them have pravrutti for whose sake. Chakshu has pravrutti for whose sake. Shrotram has pravrutti for whose sake. Ghanam has pravrutti for whose sake. All faculties exist for their own sake or for somebody else's sake. Chakshu is not for itself, Chakshu is for somebody else's sake. We have seen it before. If a house exists, not for its own sake, but for the one for whom things exist is always Chetanam and is not an aggregate of things. One is Galapaha, one is called Niramshaha, the other is called Ramsha. Collection of things, all collections of things are meant for the conscious being who is not a collection of things. The knower is not made of, is not a construction. Knower is not made of parts. Is it clear? Knower is not made of parts because you can't divide the knower. So what is knower made of? Is knower made of something? Knower is not made of something. Knower is pure consciousness, is not made of something. Consciousness is not again made of something. Body is made of many things. Sense organs are made of many things. Mind also is made of many things. So it's kalapa. Kalapa means what? It's an aggregate. Samuha. Like house is samuha. So body is meant for someone, sense organs are meant for someone, antakaranam also is meant for, all faculties are meant for someone. That someone is not made of something. Therefore here, Karanakalapasya yadartha prayukta pravrittihi, for whose sake they have pravritti. Tad Brahma, that is Brahman. Iti prakaranarthaha vivakshitaha, this is the topic of this section. What is the topic of this particular chapter, this particular Upanishad? Just to prove that the faculties function for whose sake that being is Brahman, the truth. Their functioning is for the sake of the Atma. Their existence is due to Atma. Their existence is due to the Atma. Here, in the case of Rajju Sarpa, the Sarpa is seen not for the sake of Rajju. Sarpa is for me, the one who sees. The Sarpa is for me. Supposing I see the silver, silver is for me in the shell, not real silver. Real silver you don't come across. You only see the silver in the shell. Therefore, the silver that is seen for whom? For me, not for the shell. So in the illustration, the adhishtanam is different. What is misunderstood is different from the one who misunderstands. In all the drishtantas, the one who misunderstands is different from what is misunderstood. Is it clear? But in here, in the case of Atma Bhranti, what is misunderstood is myself, the one who misunderstands. Is also myself. Atma is the avidya ashrayam. It is also avidya vishayam. Myself, I am the subject matter for misunderstanding. Who misunderstands? I misunderstand. Whom do I misunderstand? Myself. There I misunderstand the rope. Rope is the subject matter of misunderstanding, but the one who misunderstands is separate. Is it clear? Therefore here it is the Atma that is the subject matter of misunderstanding, and it is the Atma that itself misunderstands. As misunderstood, the same Paramatma appears as Jivatma. Therefore all faculties are within the realm of Bhranti, and they are all existent for whose sake? For Atma's sake. The faculties for the Atma, their truth is also Atma. Their truth is Atma. Supposing a Rajju misunderstands itself as Sarpa, now imagine. Rajju misunderstands itself as Sarpa. I am Sarpa and I am suffering. Rajju doesn't like to be Sarpa. Rajju doesn't like to be Sarpa. And it looks at itself as Sarpa. Now it has samsara. Now who is misunderstood? Rajju is misunderstood. Who misunderstands? Rajju. As what? Sarpa. In that realm of Bhranti, we can say that there are faculties and body, vagera, vagera, and all for whom? That thought that I am Sarpa is for whom? To the Rajju. I am Sarpa, this Bhranti is to Rajju. The sorrow is to Rajju. The Sukham is to Rajju. Dukkham is to Rajju. The entire samsara is to what? Rajju. And there are many faculties to it, let us say. They are all to Rajju. And Rajju as Rajju is free from all. Essentially Rajju is free from all of it. But in Bhranti, all these faculties come into existence and they all exist for the Rajju. Therefore here, for whose sake the faculties exist, that is indeed Brahman, that is the topic of this Prakaranam. Similarly, Chakshushaha Chakshuhu, just as Atma is the breath of the breath, similarly Atma is the Chakshu of the Chakshu, the sight of the sight. Meaning, Rupa Prakashakasya Chakshushaha, Rupa Prakashakasya Chakshushaha, the sight which illumines the form. रूप को प्रकाशित करने वाला जो चक्षु है उसका. रूप प्रकाशकस्य चक्षुषः यद रूप ग्रहण सामर्थ्यम, the capacity to illumine the form. The capacity to illumine the form is enjoyed by the sight, and that is due to the presupposing presence of Atma. Tad Atma Chaitanya Adhishtitasya eva. It is only for that Chakshu. Chakshu enjoys the capacity to illumine the form only as supported by Atma. To be supported by Atma means really they are not two things. Its existence is due like, wave exists due to water. Wave exists due to water does not mean there are two things. वैसे यहाँ पर भी है. So, because of the conscious being, Chakshu illumines the form, therefore we can say Atma is the Chakshu of the Chakshu. Why do you say it is Chakshushaha, Chakshushu? What does it imply? Why not we say it is separate from the Chakshu, it is beyond Chakshu, why don't you say that? Why don't you say that it is beyond Chakshu? Why do you say it is Chakshu of the Chakshu? Why don't you say it is beyond Chakshu? It is nice to hear beyond Chakshu. No, it is not beyond Chakshu. Like, water is not beyond wave. The moment you say it is beyond wave, then you will look for the water away from the wave which you will never find. Supposing if the rope is away from the, beyond the snake, the moment you say you will leave the snake and look for the rope away from the snake, then you will never discover the rope. Is it clear? This point is not understood, means difficult. The rope is not beyond the snake. The rope is the truth of the snake, not beyond snake. If it is beyond snake, then you will leave it and go and search for it. Similarly, the truth is not beyond the eyes, but the very truth of the sight, perception. Sight is their knowledge of the form. In that very knowledge of the form is the truth. In that very knowledge of the sound is the truth. It is because of the truth there is sound existent and knowledge of it also. Therefore, is beyond perception or the truth of perception? What is Atma? Beyond perception or truth of perception? It is the truth of perception. It may not be an object of perception. It is not an object. Not to be an object of perception is different from to be beyond perception. Able to follow? It is definitely not an object of sight, but it is not beyond sight. It is the truth of the sight plus the truth of the object of sight. It's not an object of perception, but it's not beyond perception. It's not a form, but it's not beyond the knowledge of the form. And therefore here it said, it is very important for the Shruti to say that it is this truth of the sight rather than away from, beyond the sight. Shruti never says it is beyond. This is the problem. We have invented this word. It is beyond the senses and beyond the mind and beyond the intellect. It is just like a lullaby. When a child is really, you want to make the child sleep, you use some kind of tone. It's like a lullaby. Now all the audience is beyond the mind and what. It's like if I go on giving the description of what we call the Gangotri, what does it do? You try to forget all these confusions. You think of that beyond Gangotri. Makes you, comforts you. It's so nice to be so beyond, away from all these things. Similarly, what is Atma? The description of Ekanta and the description of Brahma is the same. When I describe the nice Ekanta of the Himalayas, everybody feels so good, away from this world. That thought of beyond this world itself is a lullaby. Similarly, Brahman is beyond your thought, beyond your mind, beyond your intellect, beyond everything. You have to go beyond all faculties and then you will be there in Brahma. It is all very comforting lullaby to the audience. It doesn't create any knowledge. Why? Because it is not beyond any faculty. It is the truth of faculty. The moment I say it is the truth of the faculty, then you have a responsibility to understand. In the very faculty. You are not going to go beyond or anyway. You see, right in the faculty is the you, the truth. You are there in your faculty of yours. If I say it is beyond everything, then you start closing all faculties and being quiet. You are made to become quiet. It makes you quiet. The word beyond makes you quiet. Doesn't enlighten you. Doesn't enlighten you. Like description of ekanta makes you quiet. When you see a movie, a Swami having renounced everything, goes into Himalayas. People who make movies, they don't know the human psychology. If you make such movies, people will simply fall for them. All that you have to do is what? Just make them feel the contrast between the samsara and asamsara. Create a Swami and then how he renounces everything, goes into Himalayas and how he lives. Project him very peacefully. It will be very unhappy affair to project like that. It is going to cost you a lot and it is going to create a lot of unhappiness to put a person there in those Himalayas, Ekanta, Vagera, Vagera. And if we can make when you see a person leaving everything and going away, what do you feel? When a person leaves the whole samsara and then goes into Himalayas with a commander and goes, when you see that picture, what will you feel? You feel peaceful, It's great. So what is it? The contrast is great because beyond this world, description of ekanta and description of atma is done in the same manner, which is wrong. Himalaya may be away from this place because one place has to be away from another place. Distance is there between one place and another place. Between Delhi and Himalaya there is a distance. That is called physically being away, beyond. But the truth is not away from any place. Truth is the truth of every point of space. Truth is not beyond. Truth is the truth of all that I see. It is unlike all this and yet the truth of this. Like rope is unlike the snake, but yet the truth of the snake. Iti. For that is what this is. Adaha chakshusha chakshusha. Now, prashtuhu prishtasya arthasya jnatum ishtatvat. When somebody asks a question about something, why does he put that question? What is the motive behind putting a question about something? He wants to know. Is it not? When somebody puts a question about something, then he wants to know. Therefore here, prashtuhu, the one who asked the question, prishtasya arthasya, the fact that is asked about, jnatum ishtatvat, is desired to know. Shrotradehi. That means the one who asked this question, what is the truth of the chakshu, truth of the shrotram, truth of the vak, truth of the prana? That means he is interested in knowing it. Shrotradehe shrotradi lakshanam. That which is the shrotram of the shrotram. Shrotradehe shrotradi lakshanam means that which is the ear of the ear, eye of the eye, prana of the prana, mind of the mind. Yathoktam brahmadi, above said Brahman. Jnatva, having understood the Brahman as the truth of all faculties. The moment you say a faculty is always really connected to the object of faculty also. You can't have a faculty without the object of faculty. There can't be sight without a form, no hearing without sound, no sound also without hearing. You can't divide. Everything is over here. The whole pursuit resolves here itself. If you understand how there is no sound without hearing and no hearing without sound. And there is no hearer also without hearing and the sound. So the sound, the hearing and the hearer, the whole thing forms one block. And that block appears and disappears in the absolute you. That is the whole picture. The whole waking world is what? Knowledge of the sound is called hearing, or is it something else? He is hearing, knowing, or he is hearing something else? He is hearing, knowing the sound, or is something else? Knowing the sound is otherwise called hearing. Knowing the form is otherwise called seeing. Knowing the taste, touch, smell is called perception. What we call perception is nothing but knowing. Knowing the body also, knowing. When you say this one, I have got birth and death. So the birth and death are also known. They are thought of, known. Therefore, it is the knowledge of all these things. Knowledge is involved. And the knowledge cannot exist without the one who has it. The one who has the knowledge is what? Is it matter or being? Is it a conscious being or matter? What is matter? Is it the knower or known? It is known. It is known. Therefore, the whole prapancha is nothing but a conscious being having a few forms of knowledge. What we call prapancha is nothing but prapancha jnanam. There is only prapancha jnana. There is knowledge of the world. You think like that. What is a pot? Is pot a thing or the knowledge of a thing? Knowledge. There is no pot without being known. Only knowledge of pot. Knowledge of sun, knowledge of moon, knowledge of stars, knowledge of space, knowledge of every object. Therefore, when you say object, 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 what are these objects? Knowledge of objects. When they are not known, in Sushupti everything is gone, then what is it? Knowledge of their absence. Therefore, whole prapancha is what? Things are knowledge of things. What is prapancha? Things are knowledge of things. Knowledge of things. What is dream? Things are knowledge of things in the dream. Knowledge of things appear to be there. Therefore, there cannot be existence without, there can't be any existence of anything without knowledge. Try to see the inseparability of existence of anything with knowledge, please. Problem will be solved. There is no object without being known, knowledge. So thing implies knowledge of the thing choicelessly, and knowledge of the thing implies the being who knows. Atma, the being, without that being there can't be knowledge of the thing. It is not that really things are there independent of knowledge. Thing means what? It is known. Therefore, knowledge of things. Thing means knowledge of things. Knowledge of thing means the one who knows, that is the jnata, the Atma. And therefore here, having understood oneself as a pure being, perceptions come and go, the knower doesn't come and go because he is the sakshi of the absence of everything. Jnatva. Swamiji, what is the fruit of this knowledge? When we come to here, Ramana Kendra mein aate hain road. When we study all the Vedanta, what will we get? Already, if we had not come, what would you have got? I don't promise anything out of Vedanta. You don't come to Vedanta. What would you have got minus coming to Vedanta? By not coming to Vedanta, what would you have got? Swamiji, we would have done this, we would have picked up a job and then done this and achieved some more money. What is that achievement? Ultimately, what is that? What is the fruit of it? What is the fruit of gaining more money? I mean, it would have given us more pleasures. And what is the fruit of those pleasures? What is the fruit of all the pleasures that you get out of your money? You call money. What is the fruit of all the pleasures? Fruit of the pleasures, Swamiji, it gives us great pleasure. What is the fruit of that great pleasure? Ultimately, what is the parinama of that pleasure? What is the parinama of that great pleasure? Yesterday you saw all that movie. Did you all see that movie? That is exactly the parinama of any pleasure. That is one thing really in the whole of the year. These people have become wiser at least once by picking up the best picture. Please, they should keep their eyes open and then look for something nice and give it to the society. So that, an impression, if you show something on the TV, it should be so educative, the impression that it leaves behind should be life-lasting. It should just stun the person. Our culture is so deep and you can pick up wonderful themes. And therefore now, here, the thing is, What would have been the fruit if you don't come to the Vedanta? Nothing, no achievement, please. No achievement. By coming to Vedanta, at least there is an achievement. At least you can be peaceful for 1 hour here. You can't be peaceful. Leave alone the result of it. 1 hour peaceful. At least being afraid of the Swami and the atmosphere. Let me not unnecessarily wander in the mind. Because Swami seems to know, when I wander even silently, he seems to know. He seems to know when I wander, therefore let me become silent. At least you are peaceful and silent even for 1 hour. Can your money make you peaceful? You go home and then try to be peaceful for 1 hour? No. Say that is not the result. The result is this. Iti adhyakriyate. Jnatva means having understood. Amritaha bhavanti. Vedanta, if understood. Let it be understood in one life or let it be understood in any number of lives. But if it is understood, that is the precondition. If it is understood, not merely by coming to a Vedanta class. By coming to Vedanta class, one at least understands the value of knowledge, if not the very knowledge itself. But in time, through vichara, one gains knowledge. If one understands what Vedanta is talking, what is the phalam? Amritaha bhavanti. They become immortal. Amritaha bhavanti means they become free from the conclusion. They become free from death and birth. Birth and death is just a sheer bhranti about the self. The death of perception is taken to be the death of the being. You see, the death of sight is taken to be the death of the being. The presence of perception is due to, presence of perception presupposes the being. Absence of perception also presupposes the presence of being. The absence of perception also presupposes the presence of the being. Therefore, when the perception comes to an end, there is conclusion that one comes to an end. That misunderstanding will go. Amritaha bhavanti iti phalashrutehe. There is phalam. This is the phalam. There is freedom from bhranti about oneself. All problems are within bhranti. Not only the fear of death, but also the fear of rebirth, but also the fear of embodiment, fear of limitation, fear of sorrow, present sorrows, future sorrows, the fear of present sorrows and future sorrows. Everything is due to bhranti. All these bhrantis, all these problems are within bhranti. There is no problem outside bhranti. There is no problem outside bhranti. All problems are within bhranti. Therefore, what does the Vedanta tackle? A problem in bhranti or bhranti? This distinction also must be seen. What does the Vedanta do? Does it tackle a problem in bhranti or does it tackle bhranti? Tackles bhranti, boss. Tackles bhranti. About the self. The bhranti is about the self. I am this jiva is the bhranti about me, the Paramatma. This is the sarpa, is the bhranti about this, the rope. This is the sarpa, cannot be the bhranti about that rope. This sarpa is the bhranti about this rope. Is it not? What is rope? This or that? This. What is sarpa? This. So this is a sarpa, is a bhranti about this, the rope. Similarly, aham the jiva, I the jiva is bhranti. I am the jiva. This is bhranti about I the Paramatma, not some other Paramatma. I am jiva cannot be the bhranti about some other Paramatma. It is myself the Paramatma. It is myself the Paramatma. Myself the Paramatma is the vastu about which there is a bhranti that I am jiva. Is it clear? Therefore, what is misunderstood is myself. Who misunderstands is myself. As what I am misunderstood is also as myself the jiva. Myself the Paramatma is misunderstood as myself the jivatma. This bhranti is anadi. Like this is the rope is misunderstood as this is the snake. Is it clear? Like 10th man, when he says, I am not the 10th man. Okay? I am not the 10th man is a misunderstanding about I am the 10th man. I, the 10th man, is misunderstood as I, the other than the 10th man. I, the Paramatma, is taken as I, the Jivatma. That means I, the Jivatma means what? I am not Paramatma. I am only Jivatma. Paramatma हमारे से अलग है. उसको ढूंढना है. Once I say I am the Jivatma, then what is Paramatma? Other than me. Therefore I have to seek and search. I have to go in search of Paramatma, Bhagavan. Darshan karna. Who has to do darshanam? Myself. Of whom? Some Paramatma. And what is that Paramatma? Is oneself. So is it a problem of non-availability of the Paramatma? Is it the problem of the distance? Distance with Paramatma? Is it a problem of distance with Paramatma that we have? Or is it the non-availability of Paramatma? Is it the non-availability of Paramatma? Is it the distance with Rajju or the non-availability of Rajju? Is it non-available? Is Rajju not available? Or is Rajju away? Is Rajju away? Is it unavailable? Or is it ununderstood? Ununderstood. Understand this. When a person begins the search, when a person becomes a seeker, he must understand it is not a problem of unavailability of the truth. It is not a problem of distance with the truth. It is a problem of ununderstanding as oneself as the truth. It is oneself that